Hey, Carlos here from Whisky Situation. Welcome to Whisky Live Paris, and I've got with me Dean Jode from Murray McDavid, the man behind pretty much everything. He also cleans in the evening. But aside from picking and choosing which cask is going to be bottled, which pretty good job so far. I'm very impressed, and I have been ever since. So it's always a pleasure to meet my heroes from the past and kind of see the people behind behind the curtains now being in being the whiskey industry, and it's fantastic. So. Yeah, thank you for coming the way to Eurostar. It's for France, not Eurostar. By the Eurostar to France, that's the one.
Yeah, no, well, good to meet you and good to meet you guys. And it's our first time here at Whisky Live Paris, bringing Murray...
This puts us to shame, doesn't it?
Oh, this
the UK,
this kind of whisky
the way,
festival?
the magnitude of this.
Astonishing.
And the fact that we can also be throwing up into a gutter at 1 a.m. is pretty good, because in England they kick us out at 6 and we have to try and get home. So...
Yeah, I mean, not just the variety of fine liquid inside this building, not just Scotch whiskey. You know, we've got the tequila area, you know, the sake, there's, you know, all kinds of spirits from all over the world, but it's also having the opportunity to meet the producers. Our first time in France, and traditionally, the French have had a very kind of traditional view of Scotch whiskey, and certainly independent bottlers who might solely be using bourbon casks, sherry casks for their maturation. But here, this year, we're here loud, proud with our artfully matured variety of whiskies, and there's been a few standouts where people are really starting to understand the concept of additional cask maturation to introduce new variety of interesting flavors to malts that they might already be familiar with. So yeah, really glad to be here for.
But can you tell people, Dean, the difference between the gold and the blue boxes, or the red boxes? Why should I be buying the gold one?
The 6 core color categories that we have at Murray McDavid are really to help identify the propositions. So as you would expect, the gold, that's the pinnacle of our core releases, our Mission Gold offerings, aged single malts, single grains and blends. Produced in very, very limited numbers. Single cask bottlings, sometimes a vatting of 2.
Very limited numbers, only 690 of them available.
Yeah, and
only 1,480 of them available.
Just 690 bottles available globally. So that's for our global distribution.
What did the UK get? As much as they love drinking San Miguel and Stella Artois from Belgium and anything else.
So you know what, the UK actually represents only about 5 or 8% of Murray McDavid's kind of route to market at the moment. We do.
It is a huge shame though, because one of my gripes is always that battle between quality and quantity, because I've always been a quality person. From very early on, I've been drinking better drinks and saying to my friends, even at 18, why do you need 10 pints of Stella? Have some of this, and it's just far better.
And that's, I mean, partly what you're describing there is that whiskey bug. You know, you start reading labels, you start being a little bit more inquisitive as to distillery types, age, how's that going to influence flavor. The cask type, okay, there's a new dynamic, a new consideration of what's in your glass, and then you start thinking, okay, well, how long has the spirit been finished in this dessert wine cask or this red wine cask? Or, you know, hey, there's a peated spirit. I know that distillery, it's an unpeated malt, but actually they're maturing it in smoky whiskey casks. So, you know, it's all about that curiosity. And as you kind of touch into, it's all about drinking a little bit more considered, drinking less but better.
Which is what we tend to be doing. And one of the things that attracts us and leads us to you is, like I said, knowing the distillery and then seeing, there's a Ledaig here, but it's way stronger than they give me in the bottles. And it's way more than 18, so then we go, what is this? So let's take a look at a couple. In fact, I've already got here, by the way, and I've got a lot of fans in USA that love Ledaig.
Very good.
From the peated and from Lafroig and Ardbeg and so on, you have a nice, sweeter peat in there. On the way to another company in Campbelltown that I don't want to really mention every video that you ever do. But do you have any cask on them? Never mind if you don't. So this is the Ledaig 2009.
This is the Benchmark series. So the Benchmark series is our outlets for single malts that we are a little bit more expressive and experimental with the maturation techniques that we're applying to these spirits.
Did you label this?
It's on the one. It's slightly on the one.
No, but I like that. I do like. I went to
Yeah.
Maker's Mark last week, and I dipped it into the thing, and then
Cool. Very
I
cool.
had wax fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
clothes, my
God.
eyes, on the bottle. But I love that chaos. So
Yeah.
if I have a starter bottle, this is now a limited edition.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, that just goes to show that all of our whiskies are bottled by hand, and let's hope the guys on the bottling line didn't enjoy too much of that Ledaig before putting the.
Well, it's
labels
obvious
on.
because there's one upside down here. So this is more on the lines of the medicinal, the more iodine. With Ledaig, normally it's not like this. It's very unique because the Tawny Port cask has actually made quite a good difference here. And on the nose, there is almost like a tiny bit of a tobacco because Tawny Port cask, you're going to get port cask. I'm going to get that port pipe, Tawny Port, redder, and look at the colour of it. So it's
all natural colour, absolutely.
I know you don't cheat.
No. We're all about that.
One company that rhymes with Schmalmore. Anyway, never mind them. That's a war. But this is 53.2%, and
Yes.
just phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, so we're all about that transparency of the liquid, natural colouring. On the back label as well, we'll tell you the length of finishing. So, I'm always looking to take people on that journey of, why have we taken that peated spirit through that journey of maturation? In this instance, it's gone through 20 port casks from our cask partners over in Portugal, Casks de Murcia, a cooperative of wine growers since the 1970s. And the casks that were used to make the Tawny Port actually gets bottled and sold on the shelves in supermarkets around Portugal. That's really important for us, is, we're not collaborating with cask suppliers that are just seasoning their casks and producing, vinegar or brandy.
So it's got to be proper. That's the quality we're working with.
Authenticity is what we're looking for here.
Well, it's always appreciated to hear that the quality is massively important. It's not the money, it's about producing good liquid, good spirit.
And we believe, certainly with our kind of extended finishing times, whereas this is just over 2.5 years of maturation in those Tawny Port casks.
It makes such a difference, though.
Well, we're looking at around 75-80% of the final flavour of the spirit is coming from those port casks. So, of course, with so much flavour coming from the cask, we need to make sure the quality of those casks are of good origin.
So, what have you brought to the show today? Let's look at the gold. As much as I like the blue,
golds.
Let's look at what it is. It's Inchgower, isn't it?
Now, I'm going to show you something slightly different. Something that.
Always exciting.
I know. I'm really, really pleased to have brought this one to Paris because independent bottlers for many years have worked with lovely old single grain whiskies. Now, this is from North British Distillery, just outside of Edinburgh.
Very underrated distillery.
Very underrated.
There's a prejudice towards grains and rather than single malt barleys.
Yeah, well,
there's no real reason for it other than the hype.
Yeah, I think a lot of the prejudice has come because over the years, independent bottlers have mostly been bottling older grains from refill bourbon casks. And, there's some lovely examples of old grain from bourbon casks out there. But if every independent bottler is doing that, how interesting is this 35-year-old grain going to be? It's spent its initial 33 years in ex-bourbon casks. And the last 18 months last 2 years in Caol Ila casks. So from Caol Ila distillery.
So we have Caol Ila here.
Indeed.
So we have a bit of a twist. I've never had North British. Has that anything to do with a peat? Nothing.
Exactly that.
The problem with grain whiskey is it's too addictive.
Yeah, old grain is very easy drinking, but in true Murray McDavid fashion, what we're trying to do here is breathe a new kind of point of interest.
Oh, that is wow. Not the alcohol, it's the flavour. This is interesting as hell because straight away, as soon as the nose, it doesn't do the palate justice to taste.
Sure.
So when you nose this, you don't really get any peat at all, nothing like that. I've got the grain, but it is a bit grassy.
Yep.
A smidgy floral, but that vegetable even. But that area, I'm not towards the sherry side or not towards smoky or coastal. It's that region of, even the fruit side is actually diminished. cereally, malty, vegetably. That's what you got on smelling this. It tastes like a freaking circle around your mouth and goes, bounces off. Like that ball in MIB, the Man in Black, they let loose and fucking goes against all the freaking walls. It tells you right away that, right, there's heavy lemongrass, and then goes right into the grain bit, and then again, and the Isla comes out and says, hello. We got Pete here as well, you know. We're like, fine, I won't forget you. And then when you finish it, the Isla stays and then starts to kind of cascade down. I love those that are kind of a bit different. And this is definitely a different dram to. The age on it is apparent. It's an overriding muskiness, like a case.
Sure.
The phone is new, but the case is old. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I got you. But the concept here is.
It's like a remastered ET film. Ancient as fuck, but it's in 4K.
Oh god! So the concept here is using old, oily, sweet, buttery grain. It's that oiliness that really captures and helps that smoke cascade through the palate and linger.
It's like an old, neglected garden. You go around your granddad's house and Granddad, when's the last time you mowed this? 1972. It's obvious in the smell and the apparent, but it's just. I keep wanting to go back.
There we go.
It's like you can't figure it, so you keep going backwards, and by the time half the bottle's gone, and you've missed a day's work. Okay.
But yeah, this is a really good example of showcasing the art of maturation, introducing new and interesting flavors to people who might be familiar with older grains or malts. So it's exploration of flavor, the art of maturation. That's what we do.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Dean, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a nice time with Whisky Live Paris.
Of course,
it's
absolutely.
It's been phenomenal so far, and
we've got the cocktail village out the front to finish the day. Cheers again, mate.
Pleasure.
Cool.